Okay, here we are in our last section. Okay, what a journey. We have learned so much. Okay, so after the last section, when we configured our domain name and we set all the IPs and all the configuration that Google told us to set, after a short while, or after maybe a couple of hours, it depends on your IP or your domain name provider. But after a while, you should see that you are able to access your application with your domain name. So here I have yumsearch.com or www.yumsearch.com, both point to my application. So this is fantastic. It's really cool and I'm super happy about the result. Okay, so I have deliberately inserted 2 bugs into my application and deployed the application with the 2 bugs into production so that we are able to explore some of the features that the Google Developer Console has, which are extremely useful. Okay, so let's look into our logs first and see if everything is all right there. And the logs have loaded up. But here, if I scroll up, I see, these logs with some, 2 exclamation marks. And other logs with 1 exclamation mark, and then more logs which have no exclamation marks. Okay, now if we simply have a quick look at the status codes of these logs, we see that the 1 exclamation mark has a 404 status code, so this is something that's not found, and indeed it can't find the favicon.ico because we haven't uploaded one into our static directory. So this is normal, and I won't, really go ahead and fix this just now because it's not that much of a big deal. But here I have 2 exclamation marks and I have a status of 500. So this is a server-side error that's happening, and we see it's happening in our /search request. So let's go ahead and see what's happening. So I'm going to search for salad, for example, and here we see we get a 500 internal server error. Let's go ahead and scroll down in our logs, and we see that our log has been loaded up, okay? And it's the same thing here. So we just search for salad, and we see that this gave an error, and in fact did give an error. So let's open up this log and see what's inside it. And here, let's scroll down to the very bottom of this log and see what's causing this error. Okay, template not found. Okay, so I'm trying to load up a template of serp/zerp. Okay, so this most likely is a typo I have introduced. Okay, so let's go back into the search request handler and correct this typo here. So this should be serp instead of zerp. Okay, so I'm going to redeploy my application. Okay, and here also I'll say that you can either hit deploy period or you can hit deploy app.yaml. And I'm going to go to deploy app.yaml because I only want to update my default module. I don't want to update the parser because I haven't changed the parser. Okay, so this is the way you deploy only one module of your application, is by passing in the YAML file of that module. Okay, so this will be a bit quicker because it only has to update one module. So I'm going to wait until it's finished. Okay, it's finished deploying, and I'm going to refresh this, see if it works. Okay, fantastic, it's working now, okay? Okay, so this is why logs are extremely useful, because they allow you to see, if everything is running correctly in your application, and also you have a glimpse of the errors that you're getting in your overview. So if you go to Yum Search or your application and then go to overview, here you'll see the errors by status code. So the 400 errors are client-side errors where it's probably a file that's not found, such as my favicon.ico. So all of these peaks are the application not finding the favicon.ico. But then if we switch to the 500 errors, then we can see we had a peak here, which is the error I just generated. Okay, so we've gone ahead and fixed that. So now we should see that these 500 errors actually fall down as we go along, okay? So this should no longer be an error. Now the second bug I have introduced is not that the application breaks, but it's something else that we'll see in just a second. And to do that, we're going to use the traces.